Hi, this is Ricky Keller, and I'm going to demo for you the Milestone 6 of the game Overclock. So it appears it was already open, so that was quick. And we'll go ahead and go straight to, I just hit level 4 here. You'll notice a few things differently, that are different about this. The tiles are still the same, but as you can see, the scrap icon has been updated, and the numbers should be much easier to read now. The build system works the same as before. I did change some of the numbers so that you could start with 2 gunners at the beginning. So I think we started with 100 scrap, and as you can see, the enemies don't give scrap immediately anymore. You have to tap these items, and then that's how you collect the scrap after defeating an enemy. So as a sort of allowing the same sort of pace as Plants vs. Zombies would. I can afford that. With the sunlight, you must first destroy enemies instead of having a unit out there that just generates currency. So hopefully we can make this system work. Well, I think so far it's working okay. Also, so far you'll notice some newer enemies. They're both zombies and ninjas. Let's talk about that real quick. Oh, actually, one more thing. I'll hold this so you can see it moving, but there is a 10-second timeout for the scrap that's floating there, and it will automatically, there it goes. It will automatically go to the pile if the user is too busy or the player is too busy to get to it. Ooh, oh, I still got it somehow. Okay, maybe I have to work on that. Sorry, I got a bit excited. So let's back out of here so I can concentrate. The different enemy types, and I'll go to level 5 this time. I had received some feedback before about this character here, the blocker, which I agree is very much off theme and does not belong with the rest. I figured the enemies could be of whatever different factions, so perhaps that was permissible. So robots versus zombies, sure, if that's what we want to have the game be about, that's fine. But throwing ninjas in there as the faster type of enemy makes sense for the distinction between the two enemy types, but are they of the same theme? I think that's debatable. I wonder if it's okay to say, yes, they are of the same theme or part of the same storyline if we give them some purpose, such as the ninjas are responsible for raising the zombies from the graves. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I'd like to get some feedback on that and see how we feel about that. Otherwise, there are some different packs which I can show during the latter part of this this screencast to talk about some of the different options that I've come up with. Let's see. So 3 things that I worked on primarily were the different character types, getting the items to be more legible, the numbers at the bottom and the number on the left for the scrap, and then the floating scrap itself. I think there was another thing which I'll review and point out if I didn't touch on it here, but so far that covers just about everything I wanted to do in this milestone. Great. Oh, sorry. Also, I fixed a few bugs with that were a result of enemies getting stuck in attack mode. So if you would do this, they would get stuck. And I fixed a few other smaller issues like that. So that was nice to have cleaned up. Oh, I remember what it is now. Sorry, I feel like I'm probably talking all over the place. As you can see at the top of the screen, I added a checkered flag. Maybe it's not very visible enough, but right up here, there's a checkered flag and the runner, which will be animated at some point. When they reach the checkered flag, signals the end of the game, signals the game win. So hopefully that can be animated, and we need to make sure that with the change of the new tiles, which I hope to do next milestone, that will be visible enough. If not, we can change the color and try to make it very visible and so that it sticks out to the player. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the code then. So not too much is different with the as far as this item goes here, this build bench, which I'm debating on whether or not taking it out. I got some feedback on that as well, and having just the items that would be on the bottom here be draggable immediately. Part of me likes the management about it, and I want to consider that feedback, but maybe see if I can improve this idea first. Also, you notice not all of the assets have been replaced, so there are some plans for that. But let's go ahead and see if I can pull up the code real quick. So this is the main item I'll touch on as far as code goes. This is the scrap P script. This is the item that drops and sort of hovers there for a minute until you tap it, unless it times out. So this is what you tap in order to receive scrap. The size right now, I was playing with it. I didn't want it to be too large, but I also wanted the user to be able to tap it. So I tried to do this thing where I increase the tap area without increasing the sprite. The image of the sprite. Hopefully that works well, but we'll see if maybe it in fact could be a bit larger. That way it's easier to notice. I hope the bobbing would help with that though. So what we have is this floating algorithm, just using a sine wave here, and using that in order to have this idle sort of pay attention to me. I'm moving, but I'm not taking too much direction away from whatever else it is that you need to do. So that's bobbing, and then after it's set in the engine itself. But this auto tap timeout is set to 10 seconds so far, and then it just says if you haven't been tapped by 10 seconds, just act like you've been tapped anyway. And then we use linear interpolation in order to get that movement, that kind of gradual ease in out movement towards the scrap counter itself. So that's what's going on in this section. In this section. And then once we get within the time, so distance left 0, it's not going to be exact due to floating point precision, but within this range, essentially, it will add scrap to the value and destroy the piece of scrap itself. So that's really all there is to it for this one. Pretty simple, but pretty valuable. A lot more going on in here than it seems so far as some math goes. To talk about a few of the options, so I received a few of the assets from the same artist or asset provider as I got the other free assets. Some of these are paid for. This one in particular is paid for, and I know I have Unity credit, but I wonder if since this is from the same asset developer, that I could go along with a few of these. You could, as you see if you look on the right side at the top, the rightmost column, and then towards the second row there, you'll see one of the items I used for scrap, even though it's meant to be used as like an item in this HUD, or these menus, sorry. So I wanted to play a bit more with this and see if I could make the menus sort of fit this style and pop up explanations for maybe a help situation or introduction to different levels. Also, this has tiles as well that I think fit the theme maybe a little bit more closely. As you can see on this one to the right, it might be nice to try to fit in some of these tiles as opposed to the shaded brown ones I have, and then maybe use the rest of this tile set to see if I can't make something sort of valuable out of this. They have a few top-down, but this tile set in particular fit robots the best, though it might not fit zombies the best. I think since it's a robot base you're defending, it might be an alright option, and it's not too pricey either. This is another option if we can't do zombies and ninjas. There's a zombie one in particular. There's an average one, a stronger enemy like I have now, perhaps a crazier or quicker enemy, and then something that might look like it can keep itself warm. So ice resistant. We have a few options that we can do with here. There's also rising from the dead. Sorry, I guess this is a display, just explaining options I have since there isn't much code to go over this milestone. Um, anyway, so there's quite a bit of things that I think I could use from those assets, and I want to keep focusing more on the visual aspects as I think that's helping quite a bit. I really like the idea of what the floating piece of scrap was able to provide, and I think if I can go more in that direction, that would be nice. I had initially wanted to play around with different level types, like had been suggested. See if I can make an endless mode or a mode or a level that uh, would not make certain pieces or any pieces movable once you set them down. But I think, in terms of priority to make this game viable, um, it might be important to focus a bit on the visuals, at least for the next milestone. But I would like to get to some of those things if time permits. Anyway, this has been milestone 6 of Overclock. Thanks very much.